Guys, there is something wrong with me. I've been brainstorming a lot and just literally staring into space for the last like 3 hours. I am so sorry to say that I have yet to finish what I set out to finish. So I'm like torn between making it more simple, making it more like what the book was at the beginning, or kind of following my heart and really enjoying this idea that I'm kind of replotting, re-understanding. We're gonna help each other get through this. Guys, there is something wrong with me. I don't know why I just won't sit down right here and write my book. Literally, I just always make excuses. I always say that I'm busy. I always say that there's a better day to write. Or I get into my head about like being the worst writer in the world. Who the heck's gonna read my work? What's the point? And I'm just like, I'm never able to be consistent. I'm never able to actually like work on my book, you know, daily, because I just feel like I'm all over the place all the time. Though I make like promises every now and again to like actually do this and actually like finish this book and actually like start querying and actually like do my actual career in writing, and like it just always ends up me either burning out or giving up. Why is that always the one or two options that we have? So I don't know what to do, guys. I don't know what to do. So I'm kind of in a predicament right now. Not even a predicament, it's just, it always comes back to this. I want to be a writer. I want to make it as a writer. I want to publish my work and work full time writing. Is that so difficult? Obviously it is. I just get really frustrated when I make these promises to myself and I'm never able to fulfill them, or at least just continue trying and getting up. I just like don't know what to do sometimes. I feel very hopeless, feel very burnt out, feel very like I'm not cut out for this when I know I can be and I know I should be, because it's my dream to be a writer. So then why aren't I trying? Why aren't I writing? And I think it comes down to just lack of stamina. Writing a book is very, very hard. I've done it before. 2 times. I've written 2 books. And yet to get to the end of it, i.e. getting it to a place where you have the 3rd, 4th, 5th draft, you have an editor, you have beta readers, and you're going to eventually query, I've yet to really get there. I was talking to my friend Ashley yesterday. We had a little writing session / catch up. It's also been a while since I talked to her, because the last time we spoke was literally when we went home after our trip to Korea. Anyways, and I was just talking, I actually just did a like little crash out Instagram story post, because that's just what I do sometimes. Like, that's why I love Instagram. And it was like this. It was like just me being so frustrated with publishing and my career and writing in general. And that also was a sort of frustration that came from like myself innately, and just my lack of progress I've been seeing with my stories. And time again, I see myself write a book and it just goes. It just disappears and I'm working on another thing. So I was crashing out to Ashley again, and I just came back and realized that I did have a plan. I did have a plan. Something that happens to me is like, if I don't have a plan, nothing's getting done. If I don't have a goal, it's not even real. And usually the way that I work, and I've been learning this throughout my like teenage years, I'm like 21 at the moment, so I'm getting there. And I learned how I work and the way that my brain ticks and like works, it works in short bursts. Like when I wrote Project BB, I had to do that in 3 months. Like I had a goal and it was a short-term goal, and I can only do short-term. And I know this is sounding very problematic because, as you know, writing is such a long-term thing. So I'm kind of sat here confused and annoyed that I had to pick such a long-term crazy thing. No, I love it, guys. I love writing, don't worry. But I realized throughout my rambling that I did have a plan. It's literally in this book. This was my publishing goal, my like writing goal for the next year and a bit. And I kind of made this in March of this year. And I did achieve my goal of finishing Project BB, which is my fantasy story, my standalone. Within 3 months, I was able to write, even amidst law school exams and everything. Like, literally, I'm coming up to my exams in a couple weeks, and I swear there's a pattern. There's something in me, like, nothing else makes me want to write my book and actually achieve my dreams when I want to procrastinate for my exams. Someone tell me in the comments what the heck that means. But I was supposed to be working on Ghost Side right now. But I kind of hit a roadblock, essentially, if you want to know my life story this year. A roadblock where I got like a negative feedback, essentially, from my book, Project BB. So I kind of thought I sucked at writing and I wanted to completely like change to a new story, and I wanted to write something completely new, which was Project CY, which is a high fantasy. And I kind of started to write that. I got up to like maybe 20,000 words and didn't want to write it anymore. And then also admits that I kind of did get a big new story idea, which is Project Go Zombie, which I'm kind of just working on as a passion project right now. Essentially, this plan went to doodah. It just takes so long to write books, and I find that I get really frustrated and very confused when I don't have one project to work on. And that's kind of why when I worked on Project CY, because I kind of hit that roadblock of that negative feedback and I thought I was a terrible writer, I wanted something completely different. But then I'm like, should I work on that? Should I work on Project Go Zombie? That seems like an easier project to write. I want to brainstorm instead, but then I still have Ghost Side. But then what about Project BB? I thought I wanted to be able to query that, next year. And like, I just got so confused because I didn't have a particular project I was working toward. And I think that's just like all wrapped up in this crash out. And then I started to see people getting all these book deals and people, announcing that their book was getting published. And I'm just like, wow, like I feel so behind because I'm still scrambling figuring out what project I should write, how to make progress in the books I've already written, dealing with imposter syndrome and this feedback that came out of nowhere. And I just felt very, very lost. I'm feeling very, very lost. So in short, I want this video to be a very, very long intro. I'm sorry about that. But I want this video to kind of be me trying to find my spark again. Look, I haven't lost my spark. Maybe finding my way again, finding my goals, finding progress in my writing. And I literally think that begins with me just writing my book and making some big decisions, some big girl decisions, and making a plan. I actually made a big plan on Notion while I was FaceTiming with Ashley. And oh my gosh, look how beautiful this looks. Low-key obsessed. I literally have a publishing plan like Notion calendar where you can see everything like that. It is actually so hilarious because I literally I made this yesterday and today I woke up, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So actually we're gonna reconfigure what we just wrote. At this moment, I have been working on my chapter plan, which is like my big plot chapter development document, which I've been working on for Project BB because I just felt like I needed to do that before I get into the second draft, whenever that would be. So I kind of had this plan that I was going to finish that off because I've already started. So I may as well finish off that chapter plan with all the development, all my notes on how I need to change draft 2, etc. And then to move on to Ghost Side. And it's kind of teetering on the second draft, but there's decisions I need to make in the manuscript. I still need to do lots of different things to it. But guys, this is literally in person what happened with my brain because I want to actually work on Project BB now. This is my conundrum. I love Ghost Side so much, and I do, like, people do like it, and I do want to publish it eventually, like self-publish. It's like, that's my dream, to like publish Ghost Side, self-publish, but then while I'm working towards self-publishing, I'm querying Project BB. And you see, like, that's the time difference. where I thought that as I'm getting like Ghost Side ready, I'll be working on Project BB, but that just seems like it won't be able to work. And it's just difficult to prioritize different projects and like what I want, because I do have a dream to self-publish Ghost Side, but then I do have a dream also to traditionally publish in Query Project BB. So it's like, which do I pick? Again, it's the conundrum all over again, where I keep double thinking as soon as I make a decision. Actually, no, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I? And it's really frustrating. So I don't know. Like at this moment, I literally do not know what I'm doing. But we're gonna figure that out in this vlog, this very long vlog, and we're gonna just figure out what's happening. I just need to keep doing my to-do lists and my kind of general, my decision right now. Like I feel honestly like I'm in a main, like general annual meeting with myself every single day. I'm making the motion right now. I'm making the motion right now to work on Project BB, not generally, but work on what I was working on, which is the chapter plot. Work on the chapter plot and see what I feel at the end of the chapter plot as I've finalized. I was working on it this morning actually before church, and I really, really love this story. And I've just been thinking about like being knocked down and getting back up again, and how that roadblock I hit once I finish the book, I just need to overcome it. That should not deter me from my plans to want to traditionally publish this book not straight away obviously, but to like work toward that, because I had the plan to finish Project BB, take maybe a month break and get back to it. But then all that midst the negativity and the overthinking and imposter syndrome, I was like, maybe I should work on another project. Maybe I should work on Ghost Side. When it's like, no, have faith in the story you just wrote and spent like 3.5 months writing so hard every single day. How should this person influence the way that you wanted your plans to look like? So that's my mindset going into this. Okay, so executive decision is essentially to finish this chapter plot, which is essentially like the big development. It's a really cool table. I'll maybe show you guys, and just see how I feel with the projects. If I'm maybe overwhelmed with the amount I need to change in the book, that can be something. Maybe I'm really inspired. Maybe I really want to get into it and get into draft 2. I'm just going to do with what I feel. And I need to finish this because I can't work on anything else. Like I'm actually finishing what I'm starting. Okay, if that makes sense. Because like I need to finish what I start or else I will go crazy. But that's my goal. So we'll see what happens. No pressure at all, but I just want to try to be more consistent and more, there with my goals. So that's what this video is about. Sorry for the long intro, but I needed to explain my feelings. But let's get into it. Okay, I love you all. Bye. So complicated. Maybe this love thing's overrated. My feet in the sand, my face in my hands. I know it's my fault 'cause I never make plans. And now you're telling me you love me, but you don't even know me. I'm down to hang, but if you follow me slowly. I've been thinking lately, if I take my time, try to get it right, I could see you in a different light. If I take my time, try to get it right, I could see you in a different light, girl. Maybe we're too intoxicated, trying to have sober conversation. I'm saying I'm fine, we both know I'm not. Okay, so an update. It's later in the night. I have yet to finish the chapter plan. It's taking me a lot longer than I thought. And I actually, kind of had to take a break for the month has been. It killed me. I had to just lie in my bed and cry. So I'm back at it after some nice dinner. And I'm up to chapter 47 out of chapter 50. And I'm close. I think I'll be able to do it tonight. But I've been getting so excited about the ending because if you guys didn't know, I literally ended this book as if it's going to be a duology. And I've been reflecting and I've kind of made the decision, and I knew I was going to do this anyways, but that I really want this to be a standalone and self-encapsulating. So since the manuscript is, you know, just over 100,000 words, I can probably get up to 20,000 added onto that and close up the book. Because I was thinking about like, what would the next book entail? And I don't think it will be big enough to be a big book. Because a lot of the main things have already happened that I kind of wanted this book to explore. And having another book just would not work. And it's interesting because I'm going to play with some time traveling stuff. Like that's so crazy, but also seems like a lot of work. So I'm just trying to get to that. And that's the update so far on just making some progression. I do have this really nice like background that's been helping so much. You can see my recording of my mic. I have my tea as well. Literally tea is everything. I'll give you guys a little ASMR. I am honestly leaning toward going straight into draft 2 for this book. That's just kind of what I've been thinking about because I feel like I have a lot of grapple and like I'm already in the story, I'm in the plot, I know what I need to fix up. If I am to go to Ghostside, I haven't visited that story in a long time. Of course, I know like mostly what happens, but it just seems very tedious having to do this whole process again through Save the Cat and then this chapter plan because although it's not as a big book, it's not a big book, I haven't really compared it to Save the Cat and what that looks like. So that seems very daunting. Which seems interesting because it's like, well, isn't going into draft 2 daunting? Because I haven't done this since Ghostside, going to draft 2 for Ghostside. So it's so true that I've like, I think also the process, like this is why I'm also crashing out, like generally is because I've never really gone through to the third draft of like anything or the second draft. Like, you know, I've never really made a big change. I've always only like stopped at like the 0 draft or the first draft and everything after that, like editing. I didn't have the best experience with editing with Ghostside because that was just so hard and I felt like I hated my book for the longest time. So I think I'm just like intimidated by that again. But I think I have a lot more of a grapple on it, like the process, what to look out for, just like knowing it's going to be hard. And I think that's important to just realize it's going to be hard. So let's just get it over with, you know. Anyways, that's the update. Let's keep writing and see what we're able to do tonight. And I do want to say that I hope to kind of bring you guys along with the next week or so. This will be a very chatty video. Like I'm actually going to be chatting a lot. So don't mind that. Tomorrow I do have my internship, which means that I have to work essentially 9 to 5. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm definitely not going to wake up tomorrow morning and write early. But I think it's important when you're making a writing schedule to be like very flexible and knowing your limits. Like I know tomorrow I won't wake up in time and I'll just be stressed thinking about my internship because I love my internship. I kind of don't. It's a weird experience. I usually love the commute and the commute back home the best of the whole day. I'm very excited for this video though. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna help me. We're gonna help each other get through this, you know, and get to our goals and get to our writing stuff. So, okay, let's do this. I look terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm not bothered to get out the mic thing. So it's a school night. It's a couple days later, I think, and I am so sorry to say that I have yet to finish what I set out to finish. I actually was able to do some like barely 5 minutes while I was at my internship on Monday. I have that every single Monday. But I am determined to finish it tonight, even though I just came back from a dinner social and I'm really tired. I do have class tomorrow. I spent today doing classwork and YouTube stuff and just working. There's just always stuff to do, and that like really annoys me. And I was just sitting down reading my current read, which is Les Miserables. Love that book so much. I'm up to like page 300 out of like 1,000. Anyways, and I'm just like, I should be writing right now. Like, what am I doing? But it's like, but I want to read. It's like I'm so mood focused, and for some reason I always procrastinate stuff that I want to do. What even is my life? But today's a new day. It's literally nearly 10 p.m. And if you guys don't know, my nighttime is so precious to me. Like, I like to be in bed by 11, so I have an hour. I have an hour of writing to do. I've been watching a little bit of AuthorTube recently because so many people have been posting on AuthorTube and I've been loving it. So I watched like a few minutes of V's recent vlog, and that just helped get me motivated and just sat at my desk in the writing mood. But I've been doing like lots of assignments and like lots of class, and I had to like have a meeting with one of my professors because I'm not getting the grades I've been wanting to get, which it's honestly been a bit more of a bummer and just kind of something I've been thinking about and try not to focus on too much, because I should be focusing on my writing and using that as a means of dealing with life and things. I mean, actually my goal was to get this done during October, so I can start the new draft. I hope there's a 31st. No, tomorrow is literally, so actually my goal is to finish this tonight, and if I can do that, I'll be very excited. Oh my gosh, my eyes are actually falling asleep. I'm so tired. Okay, let's write and get this developmental plot document done. Oh my gosh. I actually have the biggest headache. That took a while. It is 11:05, so I have been writing on and off for like an hour, kind of basically an hour straight. Holy moly. I don't know if you saw, but I have come across a well, it's kind of a very major continuity error. The prince kind of does something that he wouldn't do unless he knew of something, which he shouldn't know about yet, because it literally happens in the next few chapters. But I just wanted to kind of show what it looks like. So what I'm doing right now is like a developmental plot. So the main things I'm looking for are like the plot developments, which is kind of just like how it pushes the plot. That's kind of like not as important. Character developments is a little bit more important, but the most important part is the notes section that I have. And this notes section is important because it has two different things that I've highlighted. So if it's highlighted in black, that's just things that I need to add or fix or change, which are kind of like quite easy. For example, there's a couple names that I need to change. One of the names of the character is very similar to another character, and it just kind of is a bit distracting. There's another character whose name's just Richard, and like I hate that name. It's kind of based off a historical character. That's why I like King Richard from, it's kind of like the good king, and I kind of don't like that name. So I tried my best. I remember like researching like, is there any other name that's similar to Richard? And I don't think there is, so I'm gonna have to pick a new one. It doesn't have to be completely the same. Anyways, and then I have things highlighted in green, and those are like the big plot sort of issues, problems, things I need to figure out. Some of the things that I have highlighted and questioned, I kind of give a quick answer of kind of like how I would say if someone was intimidatingly like questioning me about me, like, oh, this is why. And they're kind of very weak answers, so I just need to fix that. So that's kind of like the main things. I do have something highlighted in yellow, which is not good. It's the sort of continuity error that I did. Ugh, man. The ending of this book is actually very, very messy. And I did kind of say in my other video about how I kind of ended the book differently. It was supposed to end a very particular way, but it just seemed very anticlimactic and disappointing. So I kind of added this whole new plot point at the end of the book, which is kind of weird because it kind of doesn't really fit with the structure very well. But this book is just, it's been changing a lot, and I was just thinking as I was typing up my notes and everything, and going through the draft, just kind of like how much this book has evolved. So much. It's evolved so much. Like it literally, like this book just started off as Robin, the main character, just being weirdly curious about the ins and outs of the castle, and that's kind of what drew her there, and now it's like this huge thing. So I gotta figure those things out. I'm glad that I finished it. I did also make some notes for the last act. It's kind of like a sub-act almost to the last bit. I think it'll be interesting to kind of see how I can brainstorm that, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to start the draft, the second draft, because I do need to actually plot out the end of the book, and I would like to write it and draft it so then I can go back and draft it all, because then that will ensure that, yeah, I can make it consistent and pacing wise and foreshadowing wise. It just seems a lot more clearer if I do that. So I think I've made that decision. It just makes sense. I don't think I'm gonna push myself to just messily come up with something if I'm not sure. Like I really want to go into this second draft prepared, but also in a time that feels timely, you know what I mean? Like I want to get this rolling, you know? So I'm glad I was able to finish the big developmental plot though before October. Anyways, I'm gonna go to sleep and I'll see you guys next time.
Hey, how's your day? I don't know if I'm interrupting what you say. I've got to know if I've been MIA. I can make it up to you right now. What you say, you should know. I see more life when I'm with you. Time after time, I feel like when I'm with you, everything stops for a moment, but only for a moment. So I could take this time to enjoy my view. Yeah. I see more life when I'm with you. Don't be frowning, baby. You know I love you time and time again. Yeah. I've been trying lately, but I'm not perfect. I've been searching, then you came into my life. So I'm done making my mind up now, 'cause you've been spinning my head around. I only want you, baby, that's the truth, 'cause I see more life when I'm with you. Time after time, I feel like when I'm with you, everything stops for a moment, but only for...
Okay, y'all, I am low-key crashing out a little bit. So a lot of updates. It's like the 3rd of October now, so it's been a few days. I haven't got as much done as I thought I would because I've just been so busy with uni and everything. But I have been able to plot out... Okay, wait. The reason why I'm crashing out right now is because I'm like crashing out about like the whole story as a whole and like how I don't... Dude, I've been crashing out so much the last like day just about my book and feeling like it's not original enough, it's not cool enough, and it's been scaring me so much. So as you know, I've been trying to plot the end of the story, which means I need to understand all the lore because I feel like the lore kind of comes back in the story. This book is very much like an underground dormant magic, which kind of explodes in the last act of the book. And then it kind of like does a full circle. Instead of like starting with the magic, it kind of like ends with the magic. And I've been trying to pitch this book as like a Robin Hood retelling that meets magic. But then I've been just thinking about like the true Robin Hood story, and like as I've been brainstorming the lore and where the book is gonna go, it's definitely turned into like a very hybrid novel where it's so much more crazy. And I've been seeing just like how the last act of the book, at least what I've been brainstorming, is quite far away from the whole plot of the main story. And I kind of enjoy those stories where it kind of becomes this whole big thing from this little thing. But I think just knowing all the background stuff that happens in the book, it makes the action on the surface level seem so like small, if that makes sense. When there's so like much momentous stuff happening, and I'm almost scared that what I'm plotting is like way too much. It's like getting way too much and getting way too complicated, and I need to like calm it down. But I just really love these ideas. So I'm like torn between making it more simple, making it more like what the book was at the beginning, or kind of following my heart and really enjoying this idea that I'm kind of replotting, re-understanding. Because like the curse that happens in the story, like we don't really know why it was caused until like the end of the book. So I was kind of just like brainstorming like I knew like roughly how it started, but I've kind of wrote out the whole lore very specifically in this whole document. And it's created this whole new character, this whole new system. And I feel like there's just so much magic that it's like so complicated to understand. I'm freaking out a bit. And if you guys saw, there's this particular photo, I'll put it here, that really just, I really want this magic system. I really want this to work, because I had this idea from the start of the book, but it was just very underground and something I didn't know I was going to fully explore. It was just kind of like this system, and we only focus on half of this magic system. But I'm like, we need the whole thing. We need the whole history. Why can't we know everything? So I'm like, the other half should be the answer to the first half. You know what I mean? So I've been trying to think logistically about this, and it's been super brain consuming. And it's just, yeah, I'm a little bit exhausted. Anyways, that is my update for now. I, again, don't know how long this vlog is going to be, but I'm excited to hopefully come at the other end. Anyways, that's what's been happening. I hope to continue brainstorming and just seeing what happens. So, yeah. Okay. Bye, everyone. Wish me luck. Hi besties, so really random place I'm filming from right now. It's like in this area upstairs. Also don't mind the audio, I can't be bothered to get my mic, honestly. And something that's crazy is I actually think it's really annoying having a mic. Like also for me, but also like when I watch myself over like holding a mic, it looks so weird and so dumb. The mic here is fine, so hopefully that's not too bad. I've been brainstorming a lot and just literally staring into space for the last like 3 hours, I swear. And there's so many times when my brain's been like, just fix it like this, it's super easy. But it just seems so unearned and just so like a waste of potential, where the ending's supposed to be like obviously climactic, but I want to go that extra step further and kind of dive deeply back and forth. And time travel is definitely something that's a bit into the story, and like thinking about curses and how to break them. Like I do feel satisfied with what I have right now. It's a little bit interesting and very weird, but also like it works. And sometimes I've been so in my head about like, what if this doesn't logistically make sense? But it's like, I'm the author. I'm the author, and there's so many stories where things just happen. You know, like you didn't have to actually explain it. Like I can be like, no, this is a divine thing that can just work. And it does make logical sense in my mind, but I've just been so in my head about, I don't know, not logistically realistic. And it's like, girl, this is a like fantasy story. Nothing is realistic. It's still like earnable, you know, it's not like I have the curse like kind of broken in a sense where it's just broken and everyone is happy. Like, no, there's gonna be a sacrifice, just like everything. And I'm really diving into just like seeing the complications, not the complications, but the good things that happen due to the way that I plotted the end of the book. There's one note I actually was about to add on. I'm also a bit scared about kind of, although I've kind of expanded in this sense of the magic system, there's like two parts of the magic system on the top. I've explained the half like during the kind of mid-end to the book. Then I've explained the other half at the end of the book. But then there's sort of like a mix. If that's so, I don't know how to describe it, but like I don't really explain that, and that doesn't really become a part of the end of the book, which I don't know if it needs to or not. But my plans now, what are my plans? I actually don't know. Let me check my Notion because that has everything in it and I don't know what else I'm not doing. So I finished the chapter plot. I finished the notes on how to end the book, which has been really good. Even like the action and stuff, kind of like plotting out the logistics. I reckon it's probably gonna be like maybe 15,000, maybe up to 20K if I do an epilogue. So that's good. I actually really want to read Robin Hood and make notes. I've done a little bit of Robin Hood reading, which has been good and helpful, and I have had a bit of crash out on like if my book's Robin Hood enough. Like I was thinking about the enforcer sort of trope, but like that's literally already been done through like Powerless, like Laura Roberts, where I'm like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be cool if the prince actually is like, you know, the sheriff that's in Robin Hood sort of deal. But I'm like, that's so similar to whatever that author's done. And it doesn't really work with the story as much because of just the character Kara is. And anyways, I just want to make it more Robin Hood-esque, and I've been fighting so much. And you know, like if you watched a couple of my other videos about this, I'm not sure if it's a direct retelling, but it also has so many other different themes of fairy tales. So it is a very fairy tale-esque but meets magic story. So it's really difficult to kind of pin my head around it and kind of wrap my head around that, but I think I'll kind of make more sense. So I gotta do that, which I've kind of already done a little bit. Compile notes and developmental edits, I've kind of already done that. And now I'm gonna basically start draft 2 of Project BB. Alrighty y'all, okay. Don't mind me, I'm in my jammies. But I really wanted to clip this microphone. I feel like I need to do this more often because is it annoying if I'm holding it? I feel like it's distracting. I'm gonna try to clip it. I want to do a little outro to this video, just kind of sum up this little vlog. It was chaotic and I understand, but it's fun to be chaotic sometimes, and I needed that to kind of get me in a place where I needed to be for my book. I think a big takeaway from this video and what I've just learned is that direction is so important, and if I'm confused with something, I just freeze and I feel like I just go around and around in circles because I can't decide on anything. And being very indecisive is just something that's a part of my personality. And I don't know if it's relatable to you, but I feel like it just sometimes is really difficult to like put all your eggs in one basket, i.e. like put all of your eggs in one book, like put all your hopes and all your attention. It's kind of like raising a child, but at least, actually, I don't know how to go on with that metaphor. You know what I mean? Like it's quite a big task and something that you gotta be very sure about because you're spending a long time in the story. And you know, you're sacrificing a lot of your life, especially someone who's young. I guess I'm young, in my early 20s. And yeah, it's just like a big thing. And I think I've realized that. And I just got home from like a party, and like the party was fun. It was nice. But like, I wanted to be at home writing my book. Like, I'm not even kidding y'all. Like, I was just thinking about my book all the time. I was even talking about my book to people and I just couldn't stop. And I just like felt like I would rather be honestly with my book than with I'm realizing I'm not like a normal early 21-year-old. What does that even mean? I'm not a normal 21-year-old. I like to write stories and read in my spare time and be at home by 11 p.m. in my bed, you know what I mean? So yeah, I crashed out quite a lot in this vlog, but I hope that was entertaining and relatable in some way. But I'm very happy with my direction in the book right now, and I'm excited to be going on to draft 2 soon, which I'll be getting into. But thank you for coming along with me in this chatty vlog and helping me get to the end of like what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually start drafting draft 2 of Project BB. That is my decision. And I'm very, very excited to hopefully have you guys along with me along the ride. And yeah, can't wait for Project BB to be, you know, make progress. I was gonna say like to be in your hands, but I do not know how long that will be. But yeah, I love you all so, so much. Good luck in your projects. And I'll see you guys in my next writing video, hopefully one on Project BB. Okay, bye everyone.